measuring. So tonight we're going to verbring. We're going to chill. We're going to verbring. We're going to chill. We're going to get present. We're going to. There's no rush. There's no destination. We are here already. We're already there. Whatever we're looking for is here right now. Now, I don't know many of the Lashonis. Man Panayudin, Durib Shimon, Chat Katiris, Katarnu, and the other Sachen. I'm the same. I come from the same place. I'm gevalgeld in the Gassen, and we're going through the process of trying to find a way to make sense of what's going on over here. And what's that? And in the process, if you look, you got them with Sasataman. So we're just gonna, hold space for each other, and we're gonna create a matzav, a vibe. It's ever go to Miran? It's what, 500,000, 600,000 people go to Israel for like Bomer. There's a große Olam and all that good stuff, and everybody pushes in and stippt sich, And I always, I'm a shtickle gather, so I got to whatever everybody's pushing. I went there, I went to the Kodesh, and then I went to the gates, and I went to, standing there, and it was pretty easy. So I'm not bragging. I'm just stating the facts. So ein davar oben fnei ratzen, l'chaim. L'chaim, als jeder kijkt, zoekt het l'chaim. Je weet dat we trekken, dat we zoveel weten. Van 5 noorden, shalom aleichem. Dan wordt het l'chaim. So I always wanted to know what's behind. You guys, where are you going? You guys done? Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay. Was I stayed?
Yeah.
Eerste nummer. Alicia, Ben. No, the mama. So keep hugging all day long. Bechat katiris katana. Reisik et shulich kilachat nefesh ruch neshama. Moicha libe kavda. The moich, the brain, libe, the heart. Kavda is the liver. This is really what we are. Everything else is just it's clipped. But really we are ruach, we're spirits, and that's where the action is going on. So I always wondered what's going on behind the gate. I want to know if I can get inside in the Mar, like what's going on, the Munas Mechpela, what's happening inside the gate, on the other side, like let's get in there. So, from Williamsburg, I always wanted to go behind the gate. So then I do you know what's behind the gate? What's behind the gate, Miran? What's behind the gate? What's on the other side of the gate? Yeah, what's the other side?
Chaos.
What's that? But what's on the other side of the gate? What's going on the other side of the gate?
Like if you go in, you get to the Matzah.
Good, but what's happening? What's happening with the Matzah? Choyra Parget, okay. Say there. Who else? Anybody else? This is a fact. I'm telling you what's going on behind the gate, and we're gonna get in there. What's going on behind the gate? The ganze Olam is in Miran, and they're standing by the gate right here. They're standing by the gate. They want to get through. The other side of the gate is this. This is what's happening on the other side of the gate. Buvel. Gulas is on the other side of the gate. We are on the other side of the gate. How do I know? Because I've been to Miran, and when you're there, say this is lebedik, but it's more of the oilam. But really, let's not fool ourselves. I've been to Iran. Yeah, there's fire. It's lebedik. You can see the feigel that even the vasa feigel by the boim. It's like the maluchams. It's wild, but really, there's more action happening over here. There's way more connection happening right here. This is on the other side of the gate. So, my Rebbe, Ula Shulam, which is the Lala of the Rebbe, Rav Shimon Usanut Ben Rum Shleimer, is geboren geworden like Bomer. And if like Kimmel like Bomer, if like Kimmel can America. While everybody was going there, he came here and verbrengt met eens. And I was sitting by one like Bomer with him. And his expression that he said was that, I don't know whether anybody that knew him, who he was. You know, Rav Shimon, nicht von Beitar. Von Beitar, nicht, kenn ich? No, that's against our Fette. Against our nephew. Again, 48, he passed away at the age of 48. So, he said, the expression was that the Chöze fliegt zugen, als mir, es fliegt zugen, ich sitze von einer Seite von dem Tisch, und Rav Shimon sitzt auf der anderen Seite von dem Tisch. And wir können auch so zugen. That was his expression. It was wild, right? So, l'chaim. Tonight is his Yom HaLedus, and Hoyt Shabbat, and he passed away on the day of his bris, which is next week, 48 years later, which means that he said Shabbat, he nailed it. L'chaim. So, on my journey, what's that? Yeah, trink. On my journey to find what's on the other side of the gate, I've traveled. It was a long, very, it was a heavy, journey. Coming out from the trenches of Williamsburg, Satmar at Thrupp Avenue was pretty intense. So I know the spiel. I may look like with the scarf and all sophisticated, but it came from Williamsburg. And I've been there, and I went through the struggle. I went through looking and searching for what's food, what's the truth, money, food, aggression and surrender. I was looking for it. I was trying to do it all. And there were many times that I had these conversations with some of my friends. My biggest fear was that I had two fears. Two are my two biggest fears. And I'm not, no judgment, just two fears, because I want to connect from the bottom up, and we're going to go in. My biggest fear was, one was that I'm going to be 96 years old, and I'm going to be in bed, and I might to die, to surrender, and I'm going to have an aha moment. Now I got it. What a waste. Oh my gosh, I missed it. I missed the point. 96 years, and I missed the point. What is the truth? Is the truth to have a good time and just do 130 miles per hour on the highway, or 86 miles per hour on 14th Avenue? Did that too? What's the truth? And I'm gonna miss it, because if that's what the truth is, to go in the car and go for all the way until the end of time, then fine, I tried that too. But what's the truth? And I was afraid that I'm gonna get to the point where I'm gonna die, and I missed the point. That was one fear. So there was the debate, do I want to stay asleep or do I want to wake up? A lot of people living an amazing life. They're not looking, they're not searching. Life is amazing. Da habe ich kein Problem. Man esst, man trinkt, man macht Geld. Chap and man chap noch, and noch get man tzedukah, whatever the spiel is. Whatever the spiel is, yeah? So, I was afraid I was going to miss the point. What is the point? The other fear that I had, which is very, it's a little more delicate, but I can speak, like Schwarzer can call each other Schwarzer, right? So we're all brothers here. My other fear was that I'm going to die, and I'm going to be born back into Williamsburg. I was frightened. I was petrified. I was like, listen, whatever happens, not that. don't put me back there. Please, I can't. You know, I did it. You know, I did it, but this is too much. So then I realized that there was a problem. You know, there was a problem. They didn't know what to do. Like we stepped with Moshe, so they said, you know what, Rabbi Yoel, which you know, I was born in the last year, and he said, you know what, schick me het to me, do an ichel masalas, and I'm a vrouw with the masalas, and to find his way. So they put me in there, into the system, and I was very sure, I made sure to find my way, because I did not want us to do this again. I don't want to do it again. It's pretty intense. I could have been in Williamsburg with a lot of money, you know, and all that. Huh? Rabbi Yoel, das sagt mir, der Rabbi Yoel. Was verstehst du nicht so? Wenn ich bin geboren geworden, ist gewähnt. Er hat mir gegangen, negotiated mit ihm, was Nummer mitzugeben. So I'm sharing a little biography over here. Yeah. Why am I sharing this? What am I saying? L'chaim. I drink nicht. I don't drink. Don't want tequila. That film around the Bizoven. Everybody's drinking. The Ezra Snushim is drinking. Everybody's drinking. Please make sure to drink. It's important to drink. So I'm not there. We gotta drink more. Let's drink more. L'chaim. L'chaim. Whatever it is. L'chaim, drink, no? Wer trinkt nicht? Wie heißt er hier?
Joine.
Mechoira Parget, Joine, L'chaim. Du suchst L'chaim?
Chaim, Toin und Schule.
Oh man, okay. L'chaim, okay, ja. L'chaim, L'chaim, Toin und Schule, L'chaim. So, what am I saying over here, Chavra? What am I saying? I remember when I was 9 years old, sie gewen nog dem met begleit de nog een jantuf, sie gewen de faklen in Williamsburg, maar begleit de Rebbe. And I remember coming home and I was depressed. I didn't know what depression was. Who knew what depression was? It wasn't available back then. But I was sitting on the bed, and I remember the first time my father told me, was it the Dutton? Was you know, the first time he saw me, and I'm like, he sees my sadness. And I felt that a sense of not belonging, like there's something else happening somewhere else where I belong. There's somewhere else, it's pulling me. There's something, there's a star, there's a person, there are understandings, and I've opened certain doors that was not available for regular people like us. It was not available. I was a developer, I was a builder, I did time. I was put away for a couple of years. I did it all. I've done it. I'm a tough guy, I'm a soft guy, I'm everything. I'm just talking to Reb Shimon because Reb Shimon is man Reb Shimon l'kulam, Reb Shimon l'kulam. Rashbi l'kohen. So, what I'm saying is that I have looked evil in the eye. I saw it, I stared him down, he stared me down. I dealt with personal, I can't share because it's not my story, bless you, but I've dealt with somebody very close to me with health issues multiple times, which means that I understand how it works. You can be alive and dead tomorrow, alive, dead today, and alive tomorrow. I saw it happen. I saw it happen. I'm one of you. I'm not some guy that was raised, bless you, was blessed and was raised in a Rebbe Shtip. I'm a regular guy. My father is an ovid. My father is a big ovid. My father is a regular guy that works from 10 till 8:30. That was his schedule. He's a diamond cutter. But he gets up every day 2:25 and he learns Gemara. It took him 40 years to finish Shas. He finished Shas a couple of years ago. His level of learning was with Pashid, with like an Eved at Geharvet. It wasn't a big brain. He was a system of learning was. He's like a lot. Gelernt, lass mal sagen am Muschel, was meint gelernt, was meint gehorvet. Gelernt Masechta Shabbos. En geendigt met Gemoeder Asher Toispes. Unkan Satmenstein, gehorvet. Geendigt Masechta Shabbos. En gezoekt, ze is gemeen gefopt. Het is even gelernt nog eenmaal. En dus moet ik het verstaan. En jetzt gemacht Chazura. That's the level of learning we're talking about. So this is how I was raised. I was raised in a home that my father was a massive oivet. Again, relentless. He's a kleiner, he's not a big guy. When I came to him and I zoeked at the Richten Tit and I zoeked was getosh Mesechter. Well, the heaviest thing he carries is the Mesechtas Eirven because it's the thick, he pulls his back. But a simple guy, but fire. And this is what gave me my mahalach, and this is what I give over to my kid, my son, and this is how I train them. That we're soldiers, we're marching, we keep going. There was, of course, obstacles. There was panusa and different challenges. I mean, raising me as a child wasn't easy, right? A Williamsburg guy, and I ended up in Crown Heights. It wasn't easy. I mean, he had to deal with all that. So, but nothing stopped him. He kept going. And Simmer Gordon, it was imprinted into I went pretty far, but I always had him in my head. I saw he was always kind to me. He was always nice to me. He understood me. He understood my struggle. He was an old-timer. That's it. So what am I saying, Yechevre? L'chaim. I went through Mekabulan, I went through Rebbes, I went through psychics, I went through all types of stuff. I searched them all. And then in my search, I was blessed that I found. Wie is Mechi? Okay. Okay, beside it. So I went through all. The reason I went through all of that when I found the truth, when I saw the light, the actual light, I identified and I knew this is Emes. This is given Man Pnei Yodin, the Reb Shimon, which is Reb Shimon Man Rebbe, which was Man Reb Shimon. I was blessed because I meant it. I searched, I dug, I dealt with tremendous, let me just say it like this. From Motzei Shabbos until Monday, I used to be almost sick. The Motzei Shabbos, by Mincha time, says around came from the Bucher, it was heavy. I used to sometimes throw up Sunday. Like it was intense. It was intense. This and that. It was pulling. It was intense. And if not for me seeing that light, I would have never gotten out. I would have never been released. He said when he was on his bed, on his deathbed, he had no teeth by the time. He was 48, he was a young man. I mean, I'll show you a picture. It was intense. Intense delight. What happened? What did he do to me? What did he give me? What moved me? How did he pull me out? How did he pull me out? What was it? And I thought about it many times. What did he do to me that got my attention? That finally broke the shackles. For many years, I used to walk around and I said, there is a fire inside. There's a fire, but it's locked up in a metal box, and I can't bless him. I can't get it out. L'chaim. Telling you, say L'chaim, we're on the other side of the gate. It's a Srul, got you in Schlufen yet. We're here in Bovel, doing Bovel, in Zemen and Bovel, in Zemen and Gudas. And I'm telling you one thing. Yes, Mashiach, they say it's going to show up in Tzfas. He's going to come from Tzfas, but Mashiach is going to start from here, because the way we are going to experience Geula, nobody's going to experience Geula. You can experience Geula, you can go sit yourself on top of a mountain, sit in the lotus position. Thank you. And you're going to have an experience. It's cute. It's nice. But to see Man Pnei Yodin Shimon, to experience face to face, to see Eibishter, to have a moment of presence, you are going to see it first. It's going to happen right here. When I say right here, I'm talking about in your heart. You are going to see it first. Because we are real fighters. I mean, this is it. It's not easy to live in America. And it's not easy to live in Muncie. And it's way more complicated to live in Brooklyn. All right? Right here. So you can see me, so I can see you. Too close, I'm not going to be able to see you. So, what did he see? What did he do to me that got my attention? What happened? What happened is that he saw me. He saw me. He looked at me. He saw me. Simply, I was like, what happened that switched, that cracked my head open? What broke that fire? What broke that metal gate that I was trapped in? The depression, the anxiety, it was just like doubting myself. Is it even real? Am I searching for something? Is it B'chlal Emes? What am I looking for? Is there something there? Maybe this is it. Like I was in a dream. What happened is that he saw me. Between all the people, it was like, Vi's Moshe. Moshe Mazelda. This is it. And that's all it was. He saw me. He saw the little child. Didn't need no hug. I didn't need nothing. It just needed to be seen. I remember it was, so I had a relationship. There's a reason I'm sharing this story. There's two reasons why I'm sharing this story. One is because I want to get to Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. That's one. The other one is because I've been grilled and drilled that we're talking too high up there, so we need to go into the bottom so everybody can go home with something that we understand how to integrate. I was also accused by my dear beloved, my heart, Mechi Walter. He told me, for a year and a half when we started this, the shir was at home in my house. It was very intimate, it was very powerful. And back then I was still in construction. And then I left my Mitzrayim, Baruch Hashem. And after like a few months, Mechi calls me, he's like, Moshe, I don't understand what you're talking about anymore. Like you used to talk to like in Veld, but I don't understand what you're saying anymore. Otherwise it's really best. I can't keep up. He's like, I never understood, but I was there, I felt it, but now I have no clue what you're talking about. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm checked out. I mean, the Buchazuktab is what can I do? So, and then I was grilled by a Matchari here. He's like, Moshe, you gotta bring it into Veld. Yes, there's a beautiful experience, but fine. So I'm sharing the story on purpose. So take it. I never get this vulnerable about myself, not because I have an issue, only because I don't think it's important, but I guess it's important. So I'm going to tell you, I'm sharing my story so you understand who you are and where we're going. So I had a relationship with my Rebbe for a few months. I had a relationship for a few months with him over the phone. I guess we can smoke here, so you might as well just whatever needs to light up can light up. what happened is that I was talking to him on the phone. I had an issue. There was a health issue. I called my father. Somebody very close to me had a health issue. I told my father that, Zug l'chaim. You lost weight?
Maybe I have a big share.
Was that?
What do I say? How much?
No, I think you lost weight. I think you actually lost weight. Okay, it's beautiful. Okay. The Azaz Nushim is saying l'chaim. Say l'chaim, say l'chaim, say l'chaim, so you can get into experience. It's like Bomer today. We're in the measuring cup. It's 17 days. Mathari told me today. It's 17 days from today, from tonight, until Shavuos. It's 17 days. 17 days is toiv. It's good. Chevra, it's good. Say l'chaim. We're going in. We're going into right now. Teretz Yisrael. L'chaim, l'chaim l'bracha. I call my father and I zoek van mijn tate, ich zie tzaddik. Somebody was diagnosed with Jenaschleide and I needed tzaddik. And I wasn't, at that time I wasn't connected. I was always connected, but I wasn't practicing, so to speak, being very able over here. I was always into the spiritual path, I was always into the whole thing. But I wasn't really practicing. I had a lot of resentment, a lot of anger, a lot of anger. I was an angry guy. You did not want to cut me off on the highway because I followed you and I made sure that you understood not to do that again. I was not. Yeah, okay. I'm giving you the spiel. I called my father and I said, Tati, I need a tzaddik. I graf a yeshia. Tata zegt me, het is niet zoek aan tzaddikke mensen, alles falsche maasas. It does not exist. But I had a certain innocence. Vies mechi. Okay, noted it. Okay. So I Tati, ze kennen Jean. It has to be. Ze darf zijn 36 behalten en 36 offenen. The world, there's this light up there, and then there's 36 and 36, and like I had Samizan. And I was challenging him, it's kind of, so to speak. And I was like, Samizan and Tzadikim. De wel kennen zo'n dan wanneer ze. Ari is do? Ari voor. Wie er zijn, moeten zijn. Oké, good. Ik dacht een beetje zelfs, ik kan er zijn. Leuk van Echem. Thank you. Yeah, but Naftula said he wanted to come, but he's with his mamas and if Yerushalayim with Malka Bas Miriam, Sazana Yerushalayim. So fine, he's like, okay, whatever. We hang up the phone. I was building big buildings, and I was active. I was working out. I had big muscles. I was the man, Shut your phones off now. I'm getting softer in old age. They told me that I'm too intense. Shut your phones, because the vibration is, everything is vibration. Everything is connection. Everything is a Bluetooth. Everything is vibration. Take a deep breath. Everything is vibration. Don't be fooled. This little phone over here that's made in China, thank you. This phone over here that costs $1.50 in China, that you pay $1,000 for, this phone does not have the ability to hold all this information. Text messages and WhatsApp for 10 years and all that, reverse and go back and this, that. It's in the air. This is just a receptor. This is just something that stops. It's Malchus Shakai. This is something that's the intermediary between us and the energy. Now imagine the brain power, what the brain can do, the type of energy the brain has. Okay? So just to give you an idea, we're going from 5G to 6G, 7G, 8G, 9G. You better keep up, or, they say that this stuff can get you not well. But you got to keep up, because we're going to 10G. We're going to a place where you're just going to be able to think of your friend, and he's going to be right there. He's going to be right there in front of you. We're going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about that soon. So, my father calls me back, and he tells me, listen, there's if I'm getting back chasana, gesehen a Yid, en getanzt mitzvah-tanz, my father is gemacht chasana mit kaf, and is there the other, gesehen a Yid dorten, but the mitzvah-tanz, is so purim in a stammet Siri geworden, das ging wie am Malach. I never heard my father speak these words. Whoever knows, ik ben a Talmud van Devriyod, and I, Torah is Bashem nishtakich, it's a shdukan mofsim, it's a shdukan yichakoidish. My father to tell me, to tell me words like this, it was like, okay, the Gelo Shalom is due. He's like, call Chaim Lax, who have an Ulav Shalom, and Chaim is, Zugmas hat geheißen, als geben the number. And ze halten farasot, ze geben Sharoz, aber Zugel sich hat geheißen. Fine. I call Chaim Lax. Chaim Lax was, whoever doesn't know him, Chaim Lax was an entrepreneur. He was from the Devriyos Talmidim, again, a Gevir, and diamonds, and anyways, he was a proper Satmari German with power, He was partners with Donald Trump's daughter, a powerhouse. So I call Chaim. How do I know Chaim? Because when I was going through my struggle at the age of 15, he bumped into me and he's like, come to me tonight. I can't line in hand. Come to me and he's going to read your hand. So I went to him that night and I geleint my hand, that me gesucht, als nicht stehen kann virus. Say that, I'm like, okay, that's a big catch, fine. And the kid said, he gave me $100. He's like, du hast, you have $100. To me, it made my world. I was 15, I was rejected, I was miserable, I was tortured by my mother and all that good stuff. And there was somebody that just gave me $100, and then I immediately went and bought 2 packs of cigarettes, and I had money to put gas in the car, that whatever, and all that good stuff. And till today, it's with me. Like he saw me. He just gave me love. He recognized me. He saw me as a person. $100. Right? I think I was a millionaire at the time. He gave me $100. It was my world. He just gave me love. He gave me attention. So he was good friends with my father. So I call Chaim. I'm like, Chaim, der Moshe Weiss, my tate gesagt, dass mir geben the number von der Rebbe, der Reuter Rebbe. Ich weiß nicht, wie der Rebbe sagt. Ich weiß nicht, wie du bist. Ich denke, Telefon, ich rief zurück. Mein Tate sagt, Chaim sagt, er weiß, wie du redest. Mein Tate sagt mir, rief ihm zurück, sag mal, ich habe geheißen, dass es geben the number jetzt, sofort geben the number, das sagt mir die Sprache. Ich rief ihm zurück, mein Tate gesagt, dass geben jetzt the number. Ich weiß nicht, wie du redest. Fine. Toll. About 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from an German. He tells me, die siehst ein number von dem Reben. Er sagte mir, ich meine, du bist immer an, nee. Meinte, er ist immer an. Meinte, er ist immer an, gib mir die Hand. Ich schicke das, also ich responde, wo stand du bist immer an. Okay. So bekitzar am meise, die siehst der Nummer, sagt Herr Machos, jetzt kann man nicht rausgeben der Nummer, weil der Rebbe gesucht, als die Pirsen Schatten von ihm gesinnt. So Chaim wollte nicht geben der Nummer, aber die weiß nicht, wer ich bin. So ich gebe der Nummer. Und Tomal der Rebbe hat fragen, von wem das bekommt der Nummer, ist nicht wissen, was zu sagen. I'm like, okay, toll. So I came the number, ich call them on, and I have to, hello? That I Moshe Mazel the Malka. I identified myself right away. I'm like, okay, I gave him the information. That I Moshe Mazel the Malka. I'm Moshe Mazel the Malka, yeah. Ich darf eigentlich schwierig. My kids, maar ich zurück in 2 Wochen. Ich bin zurück in 2 Wochen. Fine. I went home that night. Something about his voice, something happened. I went home that night, but I'm going to bed. You guys are listening? Yeah. Okay, listen. Zoek l'chaim. Zoek l'chaim. I went home that night, I went into bed. Ich bin geschlafen, also, you know, the way we say, ex-sat me goed geschlafen. I remember going into bed, and I was like, okay, my thoughts, I need to stop thinking. I stopped thinking. I took my hands from under the blanket, I put it on top of the blanket. I said, I feel my head is empty. So I went out and I put on my yarmulke and I went back into bed. I'm laying there in bed, and I said, I feel, you know, something is not right. I put on my tzitzis. And it carried on, like from one to the other. Just from his voice was in my head. It started like, so angefangen feeling, so angefangen seeing, like a magnet. It pulled. I couldn't wait for the 2 weeks to pass. Couldn't wait. I was counting down the days. The minute the 2 weeks hit, I called him again. And slowly, he gave me one word. I hung up the phone. He hung up the phone. The whole day, I was thinking about him. I couldn't stop thinking about this, about my Rebbe. I couldn't stop thinking about him. So I did not know what hit me. I didn't know what was going on. So we slept. So and he started sending me, go to this doctor, go to another doctor, go to this doctor, that doctor. It's important what I'm saying right now. He drove me nuts. At some point I was thinking, was dat gelijk ze welke dokter me gaat? Alle hebben ze dezelfde zaak, zoeken dezelfde stissen. Ze zoeken dezelfde zaak, over and over again. What difference does it make? Which doctor? It's Eastern medicine. Nobody said anything new. Nobody said anything, no scotches. Take a deep breath. So, then at some point he tells me, I'm coming to America, like Bomer, I'll be in America. That's it. Fine. One day I was by the doctor with that individual, and as I'm sitting by the doctor, this guy that gave me the number calls me up, and he asks me, "What's that, sir?" So I tell him. He's like, "What's that? This is very interesting. He never speaks. This is very warm. It's very interesting." My nummer is Adam Pratever. Ich habe nicht gewollt zu meinem Namen bis jetzt, but jetzt, es ist schon gegangen nach heute, and der Rebbe hat mich gefragt, wer ist gegeben, the number, so ich kann dir geben, the number, it's safe. I can give him my number, is Adam Pratever, and say gesund, okay, toll. So guy get based on what he told me, the food is good. Okay. I hang up the phone, and there was a decision that had to be made, surgery or no surgery, so I called the Rebbe. And I pick up the phone, I call him, I'm like, "Ik wil doen, I'm doctor." Before I even say, "I'm doctor," weet gegeven my number. I'm like, I'm a street guy, so I'm loyal. I'm not giving up. I'm like, weiß nicht. Ik had gevraagd, wer is gegeven the number? Like, he said it in such a voice that I felt my heart explode. I was like, I'm Prater. Beseder, ze is good. Okay, ze is good. Okay, told me what to do, this, that, and the other. So then I saw that there's a concept of Afen Oig. There exists something in Welt, revealed. In other words, Gedei Machshavas. There is we are sitting over here in Zamadu in the lowest consciousness, and there's another way of seeing things on the second, on the spot. And I remember, I had gefragt my tate once, ik gekomen zu zijn tisch, ik ben in Amerika, my tate gekomen zu zijn tisch, somehow, it happened, I weiß nicht, wieso ist geschehen, ik gekomen zu zijn tisch, I give her the mention is. It's very odd the way, it was validation from my tate. So I asked him, I told him what happened. I'm like, what was that all about? Like, the minute gewolz gefunden had, maar du kannst du an Indian van Emmes. There's something like the truth, the ultimate truth, and at Markish given, as nicht du Emmes. And the minute I spielt them Emmes, he went right for it, and he wanted to straighten out the situation. I'm going to tell you even more. There was a question about chemo or no chemo, and I was pushing for it. That there should be an open miracle, because that's what I do. I'm an extremist. And he asked me, wo zog de Stieb? At Markish given as whoever is on the other side is not his a chassid, then is not going to connect with it. I mean, that was the level. I'll tell you even more, the sensitivity of a tzaddik. Once you take chemo, the hur falt eros. He was that a tzaddik is that sensitive, mit alle spielen, mit alle masses, mit alle teures. He's like, wusste sich mit der Hur. He was concerned about this dua, a Yiddische kind was his hot an issue with the Hur. A Frau, the hair, a woman is all about the hair. But van a malach elikim. He wasn't here. He's a malach. I mean, the stories are endless. My relationship with him was 1.5 years, but the stories are endless. And his biggest meredo von a mensch was again a bezn shalmata, bezn shalmaila, gepaskint and sigeshen. There's many stories that are so open that he paskint and I saw it on TV happening. So meredo von, but again he was concerned about wustet sich mit der Hur. It shocked me when he asked me. I'm like, was? This is the level from a tzaddik, the level from tolerance. From Shechina. Shechina is all about getting into the feeling, being present with what I feel. It's not about, there's no anything that is a maybe, anything that is aggression, anything that is no, that's not Yechida, that's not Mashiach, that's not Mampnei Yod da Reb Shimon. That's not what it's about. It's a level of sensitivity, the ultimate sensitivity. So moving on, he told me there's coming to America, like Bomer. So, is that Rumi? No, it's not Rumi. What's it now? It's not Rumi. There? Who? Okay, so, okay. So, the kids and Amaisa, moving on, macht het hier a bissel kleiner. There's a lot of air coming in, I'm getting cold. So, moving on, before we get Matari. Alright. Fine. So I remember he tells me he's coming to America. And I really can do 2 take 5 like Bomer. So again, if I was reviewed today, 30. I was 29. I'm 45 now. How year is this? 16 years ago. So B'kitzar Ma'aseh, I came to America. I remember he tells me, I find out where he's going to be. Borough Park, 17th Avenue and 51st Street. Ich walk around in Ashil. in somebody's backyard over there. It's do I'm stuck up on a rebel dort mit lange pies. And ik kijk hem aan. En ik halte met David en Marav. En ik zeg hem, this is it. Ben ik disappointed. We are lost. It's not happening. Het is levatuur. Het is niet teugnis. Kitzer, ik vraag me grem, zoek me na en ze niet doen. Oké, ik hok eraan aan de andere doos. Ik kom eraan in een basement. En ik tref dat ik hem dat Mandy Kaf. Ik zeg, maar Moshe, wat is die? Wie is die omgekomen? There is Mandy Kaf. Mandy Kaf is somebody that I knew as a child. I remember I had a bike, a BMX. It had white wheels and blue handles. It was a very sophisticated bike. And I gave him my bike. And he comes running back saying that I go to get with the bike for him. I'm like, okay, no problem. So now I meet him and I see him there and he's like, who's guy before the lalo? I'm like, what's going on with him? I'm like, kids, ich bin du. So I know I'm at the right place. I walk inside, I wait 10, 15 minutes, and then comes to a mensch, so you're in like tall person, tall. He looks, and I'm like immediately in awe. Like my behemoth, my Wilkheit is completely like surrendered. I'm in the presence of ווייס what this is. I had no language for it. I didn't know what it was, but I was like, I'm ready to surrender to this, no matter what. I'm going down. The kid said, I woke up to him, get Shem Aleichem. I woke up to him and I say, Shem Aleichem, I have no beard, no hat, I'm wearing my jeans. Why do I wear my jeans? Because I have this person called Bomer Peh Gimmel. I have different tzaddikim that I'm connected to. The Neruv. He once came in to me. I'm sharing everything tonight? Everything?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You're
I can't hear everything.
No.
What?
So you can't share everything.
Okay, fine. Oh, the alarm clock is beeping. Do I share everything? Why not? Okay. What happened was that Bomer Peh Gimmel is a person, the Rabbanit from Williamsburg. He came to visit. I was a partner at that time with somebody called somebody, whatever. No name mentioned. You all know him. I was doing developments, and this guy comes in one day. Comes in a guy. Een große Biberheid met schwarze zaken. En zit dort met mijn gaver en zo. Ik maak net even gaat hem geven geld. Anyways, I'm laughing. At the end of the day, by the time this is done, he introduces me to him. This is Moshe, my partner. This is this. And I'm like, no, was wist I'm a developer, right? I'm 28 years old at the time, and I'm a very aggressive guy. I'm like, I have no time for nonsense. I'm like, how can I help you? And he tells me, I live in Oman, and I'm building a mikveh for women. It's the first mikveh in Oman for women. Do you want to give money? I'm like, beseder, kushim davdas. I'm like, what do you want? No. So we talk, this, that, and the other, and he's like, the Rebbe, the Lalav Rebbe said, whoever gives money for this mikveh, he's got under his wing. I'm like, what did you say? What's the Gezuk, the Lalav Rebbe? I'm like, which Lalav Rebbe? He's like, from Beitar. I'm like, what's his number? I check on my phone, I'm like, the number matches. I'm like, listen, I have $12,500 right now that's supposed to go for a surgery tomorrow. If he's saying the Lalav said, here's the check. He looks at me. I look at him. He looks at me again. I'm like, what are you thinking about? I'm dost to the guild. What do you want? He's like, Mesiris Nefesh? I'm like, well, is there any other way? I'm like, das gezoekt, die gezoekt. Ja, dost. He's like, okay. He was, clearly, it's a gedraaid met tzaddikim, but it's a gedraaid met regular people. He never saw real guys that are out there in the trenches. L'chaim. So I gave him the check, and tomorrow is the surgery. I have no money for the surgery because I just gave the money. And insurance is only going to kick in on the 28th of the month. And I don't tell the person that's supposed to have the surgery either that there is no money for the surgery, because I just gave the money away. Because it's the only way I know. So, bottom line is that I give the money to him for the And I show up to the surgery, just to tell you how it happened. I show up to the surgery, and the person that's supposed to have the surgery takes out a credit card, a Macy's card. There was a credit card. Zet zich weg. Waar is het weer in gezien? Maar zet zich weg. Waar is dat hier? We gaan maar erop. So, bekitzer am Eise, was heißt der Leben hier? Titelman? Ja, schlimm, okay. Bekitzer am Eise, when the person gave the credit card to that person, to the assistant, by the way, I just want to let you know as a rule, all the people that work in the people that have from Vienna Matzah, they're completely very nasty people. Somehow they're like extremely nasty. Like the Varfans I've had in, like I've never seen anything like it. I almost got into a fist fight with one of them. Like, who's got the food? I'm not getting what's going on over here. But it's like, but once you understand Chassidus, this is Gehenna. This is it. She's like, this is not Macy's. Like, what are you doing? And the person says, it's a Visa card by Macy's. And they gave the money. After the surgery, the doctor calls up. Oh, so I called, who was the intermediary? Tversky, the secretary. I told him what happened. I'm like, it was very insulting, you know. The doctor calls me up and he says, I heard what happened. I don't want to take money for the surgery. He returned the money. This is I'm giving you a hard fact here. He's like, I don't want to take this money. I heard what happened. I'm embarrassed. What happened? Here is the money. He charged it back to the card. I'm like, no problem. I'll take it. We'll give another 12 for the mikveh. So now, fine. So I'm here. I give him Shalom Aleichem. I said, my name is Moshe Weiss. Moshe Weiss. And he was standing with his back to me. Like I'm giving him, he's a tall guy, very tall, big eyes, big face, and I gave him the hand, and he looks at me. He opens up, he's like, Verstanden. I'm the only guy when I work, and I'm standing there in my jeans, and I'm like, because Chagariv and the Bible fared, and I'm like, wieso soll ich kommen, dass ich Grundin, dass ich verstellen, oder soll ich kommen, dass ich nein, so wie du bist. Und wo noch nicht will, dass ich sehen, so wie du bist. Fine, so I went like that. I had nice diesel jeans, I was very sophisticated and all that. And I give him the hand, he looks at me, he looks into my eyes, he opens up his eyes like this, literally like that. Like that, he turns away and he looks back at me twice, and that was it. His image was, his left hand was very small. He was kind of like, he was born, he was born not fully. He had no lungs. He wasn't really a person. He was at Gahatap's 10% lungs. He used to smoke 10 packs a day. Yes, again, you know, he had the right hand, and the left hand was like this, and he walked like a very tall, the Purim had him geschant. I mean, it was, his hat, the hittism given, it was fire. I mean, let's put it this way. Today, I would not be able to be in his presence. Today, what I know now, I wouldn't be able to be in his Daladamas. I wouldn't be able to be there. I was asleep, so I was able to handle it, but I would not be able. When I was in his presence, it was like an Eden. I was out of this world. There was nothing going on. I was just there. It was just there. And I used to have like Shraim, Moshe, and that's it. But I wasn't present. I had no kalim to hold it. That night, I went home. After that verbringen, and vielleicht ein ganzes Spiel dort in Lelev, erste weiß Lelev, there's a Spiel, wo suchst du, ich kann sagen, kann Ivre, alles sie gewinnt, man gelacht, man geweint, ein ganzes Spiel. So man gedreht, also, man gemeint, if you didn't know what was going on, he's like, the Mensch ist nicht normal, das macht es nicht. But if you connected in the heart, you knew that you're in the presence of something that's beyond normal. I went home that night, and ik maak gedaan maar voor de eerste moel in de eerste moel. I started out in Ma'ariv. Just shut the phone off. Don't worry about it. Nobody's waiting for you. You know, you're allowed to have your phone on. It's fine. So, b'kitzar ha'maisa, I went home. I started out in Ma'ariv, and as I got to Shemona Esrei, I started crying. I stood there for 3 hours, and I was just crying. I had no clue what was going on. I didn't know what hit me. I didn't know what was happening. I was just crying since I was. I had no language. I didn't understand anything. I was literally I was bald. I was a tinik shenishba. I was naked. I was cold. I did not know what was going on. All I knew was it was pulling me, and I knew that this is it, because I've been through everything. I've been in the trenches. I've been betrayed by my friends. I had a crew. We had a crew. It wasn't just friends. We were tight. We were properly abused by the system. In Zemmerguen, there was in Simchas Torah, we used to sit in Bas Kaufman of Radney Street. We used to sit on top over there. That was our spot. And they kicked us out. And Simchas Torah, when we came to Simchas Torah to Shul, they closed up the Bas Kaufman with a metal door. They welded the door, and they had the police standing there. And people got arrested. It was us and the chauffeurs, and it was like they were proper, like we were chayes, you know, they were proper satmar chayes, frustrated, and they kicked us out. I was 15 at the time. We were at that level. We were 15, and they kicked us out. And we've been around. Anyways, we've been going to but I'm telling you, like, emotions were something that was completely dead and mutant. There was no emotions. There was nothing to be felt. There was nothing to be identified. We were proper satmara animals, you know. So, the kids at Amaisa, what? This was the first time that I experienced something. It was the first time that I had an experience. It was the first time that I felt something that it's real. That my thoughts, my mind, my heart is not an imagination. It's something real. Something really is happening over here. I said, that there is something real. Okay? So, yeah, they locked the door, they welded the door, they kicked us out. Yes, crew, tight. We were, you know, we went together, we ate together, we worked together. There was not, you know, we were pretty advanced in holding it together. Huh? Finish. Ma'ariv. I was crying, I felt. So, then, what happened was that he got not well. He was diagnosed. I was in Israel. I saw him for the first time, and I remember I was sitting in the sukkah, sitting in Sikkis, and I came to him, and he was on the phone with somebody, and he said that he has a headache, the Koptit Vai, and it was very odd to me. Like, how does a Rebbe have a headache? It didn't make sense to me. Yeah, like, no, it didn't, yeah, like, how does a Rebbe process a headache? Like, it didn't make sense to me, and I was kind of lost. I remember showing up, I was wearing Managrina Hosen, and my family was in Yam HaMelech, and I drove in. I was very scared because I had to go through the Shtachim, and I didn't know where I was, and I zooked the machshev at the GPS is not going to, I'm like, the level of a tzaddik, like he was there, but he was here. It's like the machshev weiß nicht wie in Zemmeris. And in Betar back then wasn't on the GPS because it was one of the shtachim. The kids reminds us. So what I did is I found a cab, and I told the taxi, how much would you charge me to drive me to Beitar? I'm going to follow you. So he took me. And as I was driving, I'm like, I don't know if he's an Arab or an Israeli. I had no clue, but I know I have to get to my Rebbe. I don't know where he's going. And they told me, when you get out of the Yam Melech, don't make a left, because the other shlichim just make a right. And this guy makes a left. I'm like, this is not good. Anyways, but I'm going to my Rebbe. I'm going. He calls me as Erev Shana Rabbi. He's like, wie haltste? And I told him that I'm on the way. He's like, anyways, I have pressure, and I'm wearing my this, that. How do I show up to? Anyways, I show up to him. I come into his sukkah, and he gets a phone call. He zoekt I was kind of like, I felt bad. I wasn't sure, and he tells me, "What is that, Maise? Tell me your story." Literally, he's like, "Tell me your story." I remember now. He's like, I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, "Was bist du durchgegangen?" So I tell him my story. I get emotional, and I start like kind of like crying. I'm holding it back. I remember I was holding the kvittel, and I had the money in the kvittel, and I had no clue how to do this. So I'm holding it, and he looks at me, and he's like, at some point, I'm like, I'm not sure if you're supposed to put it down first or not. He's like, "Who's hast du da?" I'm like, "Okay, du hast du." I had no clue what was flying. I mean, you were in the presence of not a person, something beyond human. So, the Kitzur HaMaaseh, let's skip down to a year and a half passes by. I'm in a relationship with him. I remember one day he calls me up. Oh, I was told, are we still good? I'm still going good. Or you want to go back to the Shem? Good? Good, okay. Yeah, good is good. Okay, good. Thank you. So, B'kitzur HaMaaseh, we're going into the next shlav over here. You guys better say l'chaim, because I'm not going to be here soon. So, B'kitzur HaMaaseh, wie alt is? He asked me what's my story. Huh? Wow. Good? So, B'kitzur HaMaaseh, Mati, wie geht's dir? So, B'kitzur HaMaaseh, it's important that you listen to the details. I'm telling the story for a reason. So listen to the story. So a year and a half, we're in a relationship. We're going back. I was told that he has a reshima. He has a reshima. The reshima is that he calls people randomly. Like he has a reshima. And he was up all night, all day. Obviously, he never slept. He was doing ketairas all day long. He's like that. Once he asks for your number, you're on his reshima. So I was waiting for him to ask for my number. And also, I was like, if he's a Rebbe, he knows my number already, so he don't even have to ask me. He's just going to call me. The kid said one day out of the blue, he's like, "What's that number? What's that number spot?" I blew up. I was like, "This is it. I made it." The Rebbe asked me for the number. I gave him the number, and I waited. And of course, the phone rings. When does the phone ring? He knew exactly when to call. He didn't call when you were in the bathroom. He didn't call you when you were in the bedroom. He called you exactly when he needed to call you. Was geht dat for? Was tust du? Was machst du? Wie bist du? He knew exactly when to call. There was never a call when, like, what if I'm in the car with people and he's going to call? Nah, he called you exactly when you needed to be called. The minute you were by yourself, boom, the phone rings, the Rebbe is doing. Was machst du? Wie haltst du? Wie geist du? Was willst du? Yeah, done. Boom, gegangen weiter. nothing. It wasn't even a thing, you know. The kids at Amaisa, he got, what happened was is there was Hanukkah, and all of a sudden I feel, the rhythm is still with me? Or you need more time? Yeah. With us then. 1 second. En ik kon op een gegeven moment Fleming around the room. There you go. Yeah, okay, good. So it was Hanukkah, and I feel I'm not feeling him. I'm disconnected. I'm disconnected. Listen to this, Chavre, listen to this. I'm feeling I'm disconnected. I don't feel that drive. I don't feel that push. I don't know what's going on. And I'm getting pissed. I'm angry. Because throughout my life, every time when I was on my journey in searching, I was finding people, but they couldn't keep up with me, and they left me. They left me. They couldn't keep up. My demand was too high. I was driving for the truth, and they couldn't keep up. And he too can't keep up. He's not here. I don't feel him. I felt for a year, I felt like something is behind me. I was untouchable. I felt it. I got rid of that thing, that Motzei Shabbos thing, throwing up and being sick till Monday morning, disappeared. It's gone. No depression, no anxiety, it's gone. I am open, I'm floating, I'm fully alert, I'm aware, I don't want money, I don't want anything, I'm fully present. I was still driving a big white Escalade at the time, but I was like, whatever. It wasn't doing it anymore. But now he's gone, I don't feel it, and I'm getting upset. I'm getting really upset. I'm like, wie is it? He's betraying me. First day Hanukkah, second day Hanukkah, third day Hanukkah, I'm not feeling it. Then I got a phone call that headache that he said that he had on Sukkot, he was diagnosed with Yena Parsha. And he went to the hospital, they told him that he has from the Schoire, and he came outside, he lit a cigarette, and he gefragt de Gabe, als je verzeilt van Neulam, and the guy was like, hij fragt was gerief van Amerika, and the Gabe says, yes. Hoeveel mensen? Als je bezoekt van 3 mensen, zoekt ja. Zoekt ooit dus de rest naar buiten, en dan zullen ze zijn. Okay? So, I remember it was a Friday, I was driving down Kent Avenue, going to North 5th, one of my buildings, and I'm listening to Yuda Green, Yom HaShishi, and I'm fully inspired, because I didn't really listen to Jewish music, and I was fully inspired, and I feel it, and I'm very emotional. And he calls me, and I had the guts to say, Rebbe, se git ze heren dan call. I was like overtaken. I was like, he's back. And like, Rebbe, se git ze heren dan call. And he's like, Meisha. Anyways, it was enough, whatever he was doing. I don't know what he was doing. So we went for a Shabbos. Parsha Shkulim. I remember he came there. He was very broken. He told his Rebbetzin that in 6 months everything is going to be okay. She thought he's going to be healthy, and he was like, I'm going to check out. Exactly to the day, 6 months he was out. And we're coming for Shabbos Kulim. Zijn we nog good? Kids came for Shabbos Kulim, and we're sitting there, this, that, and the other. Okay, beside it. So so what happened was I gave him a klittel, and I remember I was sitting, as I was giving him the klittel, I was sitting in the dining room, and Mendikaf passes by and he tells me like this. So I look at him and I have no clue what he's talking about. And he's like, when the Rebbe, then get that kvittel stop on zich hoofd. And he's sitting there, and it sits on Talis Gudel, with een kappel, met dat cigarette, and he's like, er is een kappel, also. De kid zegt, nee, de man zegt, nee, ze zal opstellen. De kid zegt, ik wil nog opstellen, ze zegt, the kids are fine. He's a kvittel, and I remember I asked him if he was going to be on my son's bar mitzvah. He's like, the mach's playing, the mach's complaining. Kids, I gave him a coin, he benched it, it disappeared, this, that, and the other. Sunday, we come back, and if I bring, we come back, me and Mandy come back, and I come in, it was my birthday, it was my 30th birthday, and I come in with the kvittel. And this time I'm already prepared. I'm going to stand. I'm like, I'm not sitting down. Now I know what to do. I'm a soldier. I'm with Upstein Stadtman. I give him the kvittel. He sits there and zegt, zet ze toch weg. Bescheiden, is goed. Zet ze weg. Nee, dat is goed. Verstaan. He's like, no problem. You want to stand, stand. He looks at the kvittel and I almost pass out. Okay, my knees start buckling. I'm like, my heart is losing strength. I'm holding on to the table, literally holding on to the table. I'm losing consciousness. I'm holding on to the table, and I'm like, okay, no problem. So I did not know what happened. I had no clue what that was. But many years later, after I started learning Chassidus, I understood that was I had a Yechidus. I had a Yechidus with the Tzadik. When you came for a Yechidus, they clean your neshama, and you lose consciousness, you lose your ego, your animal is completely surrendered. The behemoth loses consciousness, it goes out. The kids in Amaisa, moving on forward, I remember that he went to the hospital, it was Lag Bomer. And I'm coming to Israel, he's in the hospital, I walk into the hospital, and he just had a massive attack. Remember, this is a person that he was born with, it was like 20% lungs, and he used to smoke 10 packs a day. He lived on a miracle. Let me just tell you what that means, living on a moon. Which means like this, I can breathe, right now, I can breathe. That's all I need for the second. All I need is a piece of bread, just a touch of bread, lick a piece of bread, or a little bit of water, and it's enough. The ego wants more, but really all we need is one tip, one drop. So we're talking about Tzadik B'Banosa Yichya means that he lived, all he was able to breathe was now we can live like this, but once I get stuck in my mind, in my head, I'm like, what happens if I can't breathe? How many times do we, when you're very drunk or very like, I don't know, you do medicine, whatever it is, and you exhale completely. But what if I can't take an inhale in? What if I get stuck? Anybody wakes up in the middle of the night and wakes up that the thing that the stick the match? Anybody here? Yeah, how many? Pick up your hands. Okay, good, okay. Right, you wake up and it's like, the tongue is stuck, like you completely surrendered. Okay? Said it. So, Tzadik B'Manusa Yichya, we're talking about a level of breathing. It's important to listen to this. We're talking about a level of breathing that is from second to second. Do you have enough right now what you need? Do you have enough right now what you need? The answer is yes. All you need is a breath of air. You need, smell the tequila, you're good. You don't need more than that. Try after 24 hours of not eating, 26 hours in Kippur of not eating. All you need is a smell. You don't need the food. You need just, and it's chayas, that's the tzameach. And then lower. As you drop, you need something. You don't need more than that. Thank you. Tzadik B'Manusa Yichya is there is a level of life that's available, that we are able to tap into, that it gives you enough that gives you enough, that gives you enough of what you need. Why am I saying this? Listen, Chavra, we're rich. If you are sitting here right now, if you go to any type of shir in Chassidus, in understanding consciousness and presence, you are there, you are rich. You have tapped into something that is an infinite force, a power, a consciousness, intellect. Consciousness is nothing. Intellect. Because the average person, he has already 5 or 6 or 10, 30, 40 buildings that he owns and constant money coming in, but he's still chasing because that's his existence. His existence is to constantly generate. It is interparoi. It is pissen veramses. It doesn't stop. He keeps the whippers on his back. He goes on the most expensive vacation, $20,000 for a week, and he's miserable. Because what if I'm missing out? What if I didn't or do? You're sitting here right now. This whole Fabringen cost $225. That's all that was donated. $350? Besides the other stuff. Fine. My point is, like, being present. You're rich. You have everything you need. You're there. Just breathe into that. Says Reb Nachman, Bria Chadasha. Bria Chadasha means that you have the power to create anything you want, anything you imagine. This night, right now, let me tell you something. If everything is in the Hoive, Eli, give me a little more warm. A little more warm. Less treble, more warm. Because I'm starting to talk loud. If everything is happening in the present moment, if everything is happening right now you're at peace, right now you are surrendered, there is only Ruach. There's less of Gashmi, there's more Ruach. And then you show up at home or you come to business and you become very, very physical, very distracted, very not present. If everything is happening right now, time and space is an illusion, it's malchus. It's only our ego that needs to process in time and space. Do you follow what I'm saying? Elaborate more on it? Yes. Okay. Close your eyes. Listen, Heather, let's get real. There is no past, there is no future. It's everything happening right now. It's all there, it already happened. Yudke, Vavke, Yudke already happened. Mashiach is already here. There is the Beis HaMikdash, there is Rebbe, there is wherever you're looking for, your mother, your father, your ancestors. It's all happening right now. There is no past, there is no future. It's all happening right now in the present moment. What does that mean? What does that mean, happening in the right moment? What does it mean it's happening in the right moment? What's it mean? Reb Shimon is here right now. Reb Shimon is still here. The Rebbe says it in the Maimer. I'm not telling you trippy stuff. I'm telling you stuff that if you believe, then this is it. When some guru tells you to breathe in and stretch this way and stretch that way and drink this and drink that, you're like, oh, why? We got this chayre. Man Pnei and Reb Shimon. What's the face of this thing that created everything? Reb Shimon. This is our Torah Anista. This is who we are. Eraisa, Kitchebrichi, What's the first one? Yisrael eraisa ketchuberichi. There is something in this world. There is a tree, there is an apple, there is an orange, there is a lion, there is a horse. Then there is a Yisrael. There are 70 nations, and then there is a Yisrael. This Yisrael is something in the body that looks something like pretty much what looks like that he's sitting here by the table. Pious, abur, da kapu, mit tzitzes, mit taras, mit shpocha, mit Shabbos candles, boine shalom, chalas, man, are you serious? Do you understand what's going on over there? Does it make any sense to you? Do you understand who we are? The Varamkai, this look what's happening over here. This is not a joke. Reb Shimon is speaking right now. I'm giving you a mashal over here. Reb Shimon is speaking right now. It's like a slinky. You know the slinky? It goes from the right to the left, from left to right. We are at the bottom of the slinky right now, where we're playing it out in real time, because our consciousness is such yeshes that if it would have happened right now in the instant moment, then you would freak out. It's too much. I can't handle it. If it took you 1 minute to get from here to Israel, if it took you only 2 hours, you would freak out. I need to be in a plane for 9 hours in order to get to Israel. Zogt Chassidus, zogt the Baal Shem Tov, Makom Shemachshafta Shalom Shamo Nemtze. Whatever you thought is, that's where you are. What does that mean? What does it mean, the thought? Whatever my thoughts are, that's where I am. Guess what? There is a physical body here in this world, in the lowest consciousness, in the Olam Asir, there's a physical goof that needs to play out, because it's gvul versus bli gvul. We'll get into that in a minute. Remind me. However, this space right here, right now, happened first in your mind. Somebody thought of it. You thought of it. Your machshava first said, I'm going to be here, and then your body showed up too. But your mind, our consciousness was here before. This can only happen because your machshava was, you said that you want to be here before. If you didn't think of being here, you wouldn't be here right now. Yiddish. Atam die was nicht getracht von Zahn du jetzt, was du nicht gemeint du. Maybe it's just getting kind of like, nicht, but I was not, mehr Ungarisch. Okay, I'm working on it. Finish. I feel here like I'm by Skopje. I feel like I'm amongst my brothers and sisters and all that good stuff. So I'm ending in the thought. So time and space, Malchus is a fabric. Malchus is a fabric that stretches into time and space, and the level of time and space, the stretch is up to you. You can make the stretch last 24 hours, or you can make 24 hours last 1 minute. It's your choice. You can take your problem that you're dealing with right now and stretch it over 24 hours, over 24 months, suffer and suffer and suffer more, or you can decide to be out of it right now. That is the power of time and space, Father. Yes, which means as follows. If you imagine, let's go the other way around. Let me first give you a clip. Your life is like hacked right now because you are manifesting it. You're in the center of your universe. This candle right here, this candle right here, you light the candle, and sie gaat aan lichtigheid voor 3-4 in them, versus this candle that has no light right now. It's his manifestation. Tom gaat aan ongezien de licht, gaat het brennen in whatever inches around is going to glow light. If the light is out, if he shows up dark, there's going to be darkness all around him. Sorry. So, it's up to you. It's up to you Your life is as a result, as how you're in the center of your universe. Du bist in der Mitte von der Welt. Was meint er, the Mitte von der Welt? Our existence, Rav Shimon reveals this to us, our existence, our consciousness, really who we are is the utim, the breath, this cardiovascular system. The Welt is endless. It's infinite. Es hebt zich schon, het endigt zich nicht. But to do mizrach, marach, durum, tzufim, east, west, north, south. How do I center myself? Wie is mijn center? Breathe into it, that's your center. Imagine these little ruach, spirits running around. What's the spirit? What is this? What is this thing that's running around? What's the thing that's running around? It's all over the place. What is this thing? It's everywhere. That's your thoughts. Machshava, olam machshava, bria. Your thoughts are everywhere. How do I center my thoughts? How do I get centered? Take a deep breath in. Whatever it is. Nishpas Chaim. Malchus is a fabric. Keser, don't worry about it, I'm just saying names. Just listen to it. Keser, the head, out there. Precious stones, we'll get to that. Keser. Chachma, the right brain, beyond logic. It makes no sense. It's not possible that I'm going to be, my problem is not going to be here tomorrow. It's not possible. Beyond logic, it is possible. Because everything is ruach, and in light, everything is possible. You don't need time, it travels, light speed. Bina, beyond logic, intellect, bina, logic. Das, the connector. Chesed, right. Teferes, bina, gevura left. Teferes, netzachoid, which we are at right now. Yesoid, Malchus. Let's talk about precious stones for a minute. Reb Nachman. Very, very powerful piece from Reb Nachman. Reb Nachman says that Malchus, what is Malchus? You got that? Hello? You guys there? Say, you can text to do it, no problem. No, it's good. No, it's good. Go text. They told me to be more warm, so I'm trying to be more interactive. So the kids are Amaisa Malchus. Listen to this. Malchus. What is Malchus? Malchus is physical. Malchus is a troublemaker. Malchus is the fabric that creates time and space. Without Malchus, we wouldn't be here. We exist in a consciousness beyond Malchus also. That's your thoughts, your machshava. And this is where we want to go to. Listen. This is it. After this, we're taking a break. It should only take a half hour. So, okay, the Mavinim say that the brain can only hold cup for 60 minutes. Okay, that's what they say. The professionals. Okay, stop. I'm not teasing. I'm just saying. They say that you can only hold cup for 60 minutes. Now, that is in the mannequin world. You know the mannequins that you see in the stores. They dress them up, the mannequins. But we have seen people that were highly medicated. They said they can only sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and they ended up sitting for 4 to 6 hours. Right? You know what I'm talking about? This is live evidence. I don't care what you listen to. One of our people used to come to the shir. He came in, he was highly medicated. He's like, ich kann nicht sitzen für 10 Minuten, blah, blah, blah. And ich kann die ganze Spiel. And then he said, I want to come to a shir, but I'm telling you right now, can I leave after 10 minutes? I said, sure. And he sat down, and I remember back then the shir would go for 5 hours. he did not move.
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon, he did not move. So I'm telling you what's possible. I'm telling you what's possible. You don't need no pills. You don't need nothing. You have to go into Ulam HaMachshava. So, Ulam HaMachshava, Malchus. Says Reb Nachman, how does Malchus show up? Kesef, Zohav, Nechoshes. Zohav, Kesef, Nechoshes. Gold, silver, and copper. Which means as follows. So it got me thinking. What does that mean? Wow, Mom just didn't look at this ad for like. I didn't see it either. Okay. L'chaim, no fun. Okay. L'chaim, everybody. The Rolim is good? You're good?
Beyond time and space.
Beyond time and space, okay. Wie is Machid? Machid is though, okay. Says, God, this is the workshop right here. Chesky, you guys then? You're out? Huh? Okay. So Bekitzer Amayim says, Zukter Nachman Kesef Zov Nechoshes. Whoever has the precious stones has the power. This how the precious stones has the power. Whoever has the diamond ring has the power. So one sec, you got me thinking. Who was back then the Maluchim, the kings, used to wear their crowns. They had the precious stones in their crowns. Can you imagine the power if they were present in the psychedelic state? They were fully present, Navia and all that, and then you put a powerful stone on his head. Forget it. Power. Talking about power that would conquer other countries means that he took his power. He took his crown means he had his power. Okay, and you see now with the diamond industry. Any country that has the power means they have the diamond, they have the precious stone. The Vatican has the gold from the Beis Hamikdash. They have the power, the precious stone. Zukr Nachman, this is Malchus the Klippe, where you need to have precious stones in order to have the power. We have Malchus the Kedusha, which means that you don't need the precious stone. You don't need all that money and all that you need to chase in order for you to have the power. You can balance off of their power. You know where it's at. You balance it off from the Zav, the Kesef, and the Chosh. And this is how you pull out the koyach from them. What does that mean? What does that mean? Pulling out the koyach from them if you don't have it. What it means is that you can have everything in the world and you be miserable. And you can have nothing and be very, very present. What's that?
To be a Ben Melech.
To be a Ben Melech. Huh? Oh, he's also dead. I told you guys to drink, it's going to get heavy.
What does Malchus want?
1 second, we'll get there. What does Malchus want? Malchus wants. Yeah, you can hear me, right? Everybody's here? Malchus, what does Malchus want? Why are we going through the spiel? Listen to this. Why is Malchus going through the spiel? Wherever you're at right now, wie du bist jetzt is where the spark has to happen from. You know when you strike a match up against the box? You strike a match. You strike once, you strike twice, and then you have the old matches. You strike and the match breaks, and then you have the fresh match that it strikes right up. We are the match. Our brain, our body is the match. And this is the box. Malchus is the box. And I keep striking up against the box. And wherever you are, wherever you're at, the more sharp, the more alert you are. And how do you become more alert? Alert. Right now I'm standing here and it's good. If I was to go into a swimming pool and dip in and come out, I'm going to be cold. The more
I don't want to use the word pain, because pain is just because we're looking at it from outside, from bottom up. We'll get to that in a minute. It's not pain. The more you dip into the water, Malchus, the more you get entrenched into the world, into your like struggle, the more alert you are. The more fire you bring, the more is galus of body you bring into Welt. Because we are going to experience his galus Ashkena Yechida for infants, for little babies that know nothing. We are going to experience it in the most revealed way, which means that we're sitting here right now, getting to a place of presence that we understand, this very second, that we understand that we're looking at the face of our Creator as we're looking at each other. Because anything that you see, it says the Baal Shem Tov, Siyata D'Shmaya, anything that we see in Welt is a manifestation of Eibishter, of our Creator, the thing that pulses everything. The Bomer, the fruits, the apples, the chayas, the animals, and the 70 nations, from the bottom up to the top, from the Mexicans up to the Germans, to the Moichin. But all that is just the Acharaim. It's the back of this thing that created everything. This right here, right now, Man Pnei Yadam, the Reb Shimon, this, the face that we're looking at, you are looking right now. We're looking at a face of this thing that created everything. Forget about the label Eibishter. Forget about the label, the Hashem, the Eibishter. That's like, okay, Eibishter is like, it's Erev Yom Kippur, it's Shabbos, it's pain, it's like Lomachot. Simple. If you sit in Koilel, yes, you're going to have to see him and Shabbos and it's all that and this, it's rigid and all that, good. But for the regular, simple Joes that wear boots and jeans, that struggle with the day-to-day struggles, with taivas, with temptation, why do you think you have temptation? You think you have temptation? You're a match, and this is the box. You're put out there. Of course you're going to get triggered. What do you think? You're not going to have temptation? If you were to... in a farm. Let's just say we're going to do a retreat for 4 weeks. We're going on a retreat, everybody, and we're going to be disconnected, no phones, and separate from the masculine and the feminine and this, that. You think you're not going to be a tzaddik? What do you think? You're going to ace it in a second. In a second, you're going to be fully present in a way that nobody else understands how to be so present. Because you've been so pressed up against the head that the minute this thing is released, you're right there. It's right in front of you. What? What? Because we, Man Pnei Yadam, Reb Shimon, what is Reb Shimon? What is Reb Shimon? What is like Bomer? What are we doing over here? Mitamol, the Sfirim, the people are dying, and today we cut the hair and we go crazy. How do we know that it's real? How do we know that it's real? How do we know that it's real? Maybe shut up and restart the whole thing again. My cable? You need a cable? I have a cable.
You have XLR?
Something, what?
The XLR, yeah?
What,
Yeah, this in time.
So take one. We'll sacrifice it. I'll play the other guitar. So what is this? What is like Bomer? What is like Bomer? Reb Shimon sat in a cave for 13 years. The Rebbe says in a Maimon, Hinim Atayv Manoim, that they came to Reb Shimon and they told him that we need rain. We don't have rain, we need rain. We need water. And it had nothing to do with rain, and all of a sudden the rain came down. And he said something, a different pasuk, the bottom line is, what happened was that he was so enveloped, he was so physical all the way down at the bottom, but yet so present that he pulled this light all the way into the bottom. A rainbow, he pulled it all the way into the bottom. What does that mean? Reb Shimon connected the world. Reb Shimon is what got us out of our Gehenna. Like Bomer is what released us. If not for Reb Shimon, we would all be stuck. We would never make connection. Listen to this. The times of the Beis Hamikdash, in the times of the Beis Hamikdash, they did not have this information. I was just discussing with my chavros on the way back from the oil. At the time of the Beis Hamikdash, Shlomo Melech and the Beis Hamikdash, they did not have this information that we have right now because they were there. There was this Galus Abori, he was fully revealed. They saw Eibishter and everything, which means that there was no physical bodies. They were fully present in Olam HaMachshava. Wherever they thought, they were present over there. They were like Navias. It was crazy times. To the point, whoever follows what I'm saying right now follows, and ever not, let it sit there. There was something called Akozas Hadam, bloodletting. Today we don't do it anymore, but when we give blood, it's say that it's healthy. Today they say not, yes. Back then it was very healthy to give blood. In the Gemara it talks about giving blood. People would go and they would just release blood from their bodies. Why? What does that mean? Why did they have to let blood? Because they were so present. They were so present as to where it was a perfect bubble. There was a bubble that kept moving. Everything was aligned. There was the 70, there was the Sanhedrin, there was the Bezin, Tanam, Amaram, before that, Nevi'im. They were so present that sometimes the bubble got too intense. A sickness came in, somebody had a bad thought, somebody had a low conscience thought, and it infected the bubble. So they had to let blood out. So when Matarozig gave blood, when they gave blood, it literally went out from, this is the bottom, and then it says Rozigang von Zaire bubble. They released the energy from their bubble. They went to wars, Mageschachten. What happened to all the people they killed? Zam Osgerissen, they were out uprooting one of the David HaMelech, gehalten the massive Melchumas. Like he was fighting with it wasn't a war like we think. It was fighting with Klippa. The reason we're able to breathe right now was because David HaMelech, which was our David HaMelech, Chai V'Kayim, at Osgeschachten, he made room for us. Otherwise, we would be so stuck in tivus and distraction. You know what a distraction looked like? Let me tell you what Klippa looks like. In Mitzrayim, what do you mean nobody was able to leave Mitzrayim? What does Klippa look like? Whatever your thoughts are, that's where you're at. Which means that the minute, let's just say you are doing good in business, but then you were abused as a child, and your low consciousness kicks in, and it tells you, who says, maybe I'm going to fail. Maybe I'm going to fail. You wake up in the morning and you feel that thing moving in your heart, in your chest, and it's starting to pull you down. You're like, maybe I'm going to fail. The minute you had that thought of maybe I'm going to fail, you created a bubble. You connected, because this was Klippa, the Kippah, Moshel B'Kippah. This was the center. Okay, listen. This was the center. This was the power generator. We all received energy from that. And I'm sitting and minding my business, but then I think that, what if I'm going to fail? Immediately I'm connected to that consciousness. Why am I connected to that? Because that lives off of a low frequency. Klippa lives off of a low frequency. It can't keep up with our frequency. That's why they always wanted to kill the higher frequency, which is the Yidden. We're the highest frequency. They wanted to kill us, because the minute they kill us, he doesn't have to keep up with that. The Dara Flogger, the Dara Mabel, they're like, we don't want to go through the proper channels of doing things. He's all good. I'm talking fast, but whoever has been here knows, and then otherwise you meditate or ask, and we'll do it after. I just want to keep moving. The minute you had a thought, you were pulled into the clippers. So that's why in Mitzrayim, like a domesticated animal, like a lion that was raised in a home, he doesn't know any better. The circus animals, they don't know any better. So the minute you had a thought of a negative, a low frequency thought, you were in that reality. You couldn't get out of it. But for them, because there was such a strong power, they were all in Ruach. Paro wasn't really sitting on his throne. He wasn't here. He was the Tanan Agadu. Paro he thought Egmante is a God. And he did his job amazing. If he didn't think he was a God, then he wouldn't do his job amazing. He mastered because he was fully present with his clipper to think that he is a power. That if I'm going to work hard and aggressive and I'm going to lie and I'm going to stress, then I'm going to make it. He was fully present in his clipper. Okay? So now when we went into the Mechumas, which means that there is this energy. The energy is our consciousness. Then comes the skeletal body, which is the body, the bones. And the minute this is born, an energy gets stuck to it, and then he moves along. Sometimes we get pulled, and sometimes we get pushed. Yeah? But it's all an energy. It's a koyach. It's the nefesh, the ruach. So mat ausgehargert in whatever, 30, 40, 50, 100,000, and it wasn't killed with a gun or a missile. Every single head had to be sliced. I mean, I was a contractor, and I used to walk around after in the house. I'm like, every single nail in this wall, if I wasn't here, it wouldn't happen. It would be crooked. Every head that was sliced, somebody had to take action on it. So it was a proper battle, a showdown of mind, body, and spirit. If you weren't present, you lost. Since again, it's like you get a break. If you weren't present for a second, you were out, you were killed. You're surrounded by people, Meshrat, Koilis, and blitzes, hand fleeing, cup fleeing, and mention Shran and agony, and your best friend is right behind you, and he's, you have to be fully present. Okay. So when they killed all these people, the minute they walked in. So when they kill the people, now you remove these bodies, the energy is back on there. Who took on these energies? Wer hat das genommen? Wie ist es gegangen? Man hat sich gekannt lassen, zurückgehen zu was gewesen. We had to give it a bitter. Man hat sich gedacht, man war sein. Bless you. So, the people that killed it, besides killing the person, they had to deal with it back then. Just to give you an image, like somebody that's out in battle for 6 months, they come back, they're like an animal. You can't live in civilization. That isn't blit and violence, and it's a whole different picture. So now we're here, we're at the bottom. Like in wine, in Van, the Zatz came all the way to the bottom. We're all the way at the bottom over here right now. And we're dealing with all that heaviness. Everything that we did, everything that we accomplished, all the bodies that were removed, we're processing the energy, we're processing the koyach. So the answer is because we're fighters, we're warriors, we're Beinanim. We're in constant battle. This is our Ula Lekaf Never. Yeah, I'm getting there, yeah. So we're here right now, fully present with the pain in our physical bodies. And we're also fully present to the revelation of what's going on, the level of awakening, the chutzpah of way of thinking that we have never existed. Going back to that, the Zman Abayis that didn't have this information, they were fully present. They didn't even know. The real revelation is right now, which means as follows. You ever met, there's like different kids, in school you have different kids, you have the kids that are this, that, then you have these kids that are like, or kids, when they play, they're in their head, they're fully like, they're playing, they're talking to themselves, and they're playing, and they're this, and they're that, yeah, stimmt? Okay.
Bisman Abayis, we were those kids. We had no clue. We were fully present. We didn't understand the godliness of Gettlichkeit. We were just there. Yeah, of course. Mama's like klein kinderen, but ungefähr like. Can you imagine what we messed up? Let's put it this way: we had this times 1,000. Okay, so gewachsen gold of the Bomer. It was crazy times. Big families, multiple partners. You know, so we live with it. Farms, so gewachsen Geld. So you ain't going to compression. Shlomo Melech, 80 years, no wars, nothing. They had a thought and it made it happen. And we messed it up because we were like kids. We didn't get it. But I wanted to get to the point of Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon pulled it down all the way to the bottom. Reb Shimon for everybody, for everyone. Which means that he brought it in to a place of wherever you are, whatever you feel, right here, right now, I'm telling you that it's attainable and you're on the right path to being free, understanding what you're looking for. That's the biggest bracha. Most of us we don't know what we're looking for. I don't know where it's at. If you knew where it's at, if you walk down 40 blocks and you'll have apples, like, okay, 40 blocks is 40 blocks. But I don't even know what I want. Forget about where it's at. The class is will. What's that? Yeah, am I still allowed to want? Yeah, b'chlal. Good. Clipped wings. I don't have no identity. No identity. That is Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon gives you identity. Reb Shimon tells you at the Ruka bringt Azah, we're going to go into the energy of it soon. Break? Okay, let's do music. Fine.
Wait, but don't move.
is Hashem Elikecha B'chol avalecha B'chol nafshecha B'chol mi'edecha is Hashem Elikecha B'chol avalecha B'chol nafshecha U'b'chol mi'edecha Ayu Ha'chayim u'eileh Asher Elohim Tzad l'chayim Alevamecha V'shenaleta levanecha V'dibarta V'shivtecha V'meisecha V'lechtecha L'nerech U'v'sharlecha B'mecha Shatom le'yoyis al yadecha V'yu'Natatechois Menenecha U'savetam V'yayam lezuzois V'secha Ayayayayam V'shivtecha V'meisecha Huh? Yerava? Yerava? Alright, let's do Yerava. Huh? You hear this? Okay, fine. I'm listening to you. Alright, let's do this better. We need silence though. Everybody get present. I need your help. I'm asking for help. Ari, zet zich aan Gerrit op de tisch. Ari, zet zich aan op de tisch. Zet zich aan, ja mensen. Sivata the boy be I saw yeah hey Rava Kadama the Sivata the boy be I saw yeah hey Rava Kadama the Sivata the boy be I saw to open up the heart. Open up the heart. What are you feeling right now? Besashalim Mishamim Boy Veliba the Cholamo Israel the Sashalim Mishalim the Liboy the Anybody here ever pass out? Psychology? Whoever passed out? Seizure? Passed out? Passed out? Huh? Nobody here? Just you? What? You? Finish. When you're a small boy, you passed out? Passed out. You know when you pass out, who's that, Yitzi? Yeah. Welcome. That's the So, Ari's do or Ari's young? Outside, okay. So, listen to this. You know when you pass out, you lose consciousness, and then when the Kim Tzirik, when you start gaining consciousness, it's like a bahula. You never passed out? Okay, good. Because I was like, what? I was about to pass you all out. It's one of the most, before you know what's passing out is one of the most brutal things. Like, you don't know what hit you. Like, you wake up and Magi's Wasser and there's shrine and there's a bahula and it's like, what? It's like, it's chaos. Okay? Right. Okay, good. So, passing out. Passing out is like a reset for the soul. It's a reset button. It's where the body can't hold anymore. It's something that you see, something you hear, something that it's too much for you to handle, and you pass out. It's a reset button. There is something called limited and unlimited. So this thing that owns everything, that is everything, is unlimited. And when this unlimited thing wanted to be seen, so to speak, okay, because he was a melech, and a melech b'lo am, if you want to be a king, you need a nation. In order for him to have a nation, he had to create space. He had to create a space between, because he took up all the space, which means, what do you mean took up all the space? The simple mushal was is that when the guys stand on the Wasser, you're in a swimming pool or in a hot jacuzzi or in a mikveh, you're in the water. There's no space for anything else. This is it. But in order for there to feel yourself, you come out of the water and now you feel yourself. So before that, we were all in the water, we were in the mikveh, and then and he created space. The minute he created that space, means that there was a pullback, a tzimtzum, and then chazer v'heir. It took a second. In and out. Imagine you pull your stomach, in and out. It took just like that. As it happened, it didn't happen. And as it didn't happen, it happened. And what that caused is a massive nuclear explosion. That's what the scientists are talking about. The Big Bang. The Big Bang was chazer v'heir. Right? It was a tzimtzum and then recreated. But it was never the same again. Because we could never reach that level of oneness once again. Because once you're out of the water, it's never that level of coziness again. Once you come out of the mother's womb, you're never going to be in the same space again. We're always going to be desiring to go back there, but it's never the same. It's not that cozy anymore. You've already been exposed, you've been damaged, you've been corrupted, you were kind of abused and molested, so to speak. And it's over. Okay? So that's the tzimtzum the chazer v'heir. Which means, why was it created this way? Because the more unlimited, the more I'm pulling from up here, the more it's pulling from down here. So as this unlimited keeps going and going because it's unlimited, so too the limited has to be squeezed in order to hold the unlimited. Do you follow what I'm saying? No, not yet. Let's do this again. Okay? I'll extend. Unlimited takes on the whole space. It's a bowl. He pulls in for a second, and then he recreates. Mati v'loy mati, tzimtzum and chazer v'heir. And then the kav achut, this line that comes out, this thin line, the tzinik kadanisa, the tzinik kadisha, the candle comes out and relights everything up again.
Now, the reason it's called B'tzina Kadisha, B'tzina Kardanisa, is because as the light came, as this light comes, okay, I'm talking of Shim's language tonight. As this light comes back into existence, there is many things that light up again. The lights are out, and then it comes and it lights up again. There are many things that are lighting up again. But there is something that has almost the fire of the actual thing, and that is us. That's what's lighting us up. Okay? Listen again. Everything gets regenerated. The lights are out, there's a blackout, and then the lights are on again. When the lights come on again, everything comes on again. The jungle, the safari, the stocks, the stock market, everything comes up again. But there's something that has the B'tzina Kadisha. It's the holy Kadinisa, it's the holy candle, which is us, our holding space for that. The same way the stock market goes up, the animal goes up, the safari goes up, B'nai Yisrael go up. They light up. Okay? Now the moment of passing out, when you're passing out, one second. So the more you're tapped into this infinite, the Ein Sof, the more you tapped into the Ein Sof, the infinite, the more you tapped into the Gvul also, to the limited. Listen to this. Listen, it's important. This is it. This is it. This is the Nakuda right here. Reb Shimon. This is what he revealed to us. Why the suffering? Why the pain? A kid in Florida just drowned in Florida. What's his name? Raful and whatever. Look up the name soon. 3-year-old kid knew how to swim. He was wearing a tube. Happened 2 days ago. Drowned. The parents look. He's not here. He's drowning. They pulled him out. The Atzula worked on him 51 minutes. He did not have a pulse. 51 minutes. He did not have a pulse. They did not stop because they knew him. They were family. They're all their friends. They kept. They're like, we're staying here all for whatever it takes. They brought back his pulse and now his heartbeat. All over it turned the world upside down. It happened the perfect day, like Bomer, 2 days before, like Bomer. Like they got everybody's attention. But it also shows that the child is in the Shoma Klali, that he got so much attention. Talking about him right now. He has a koyach. So, why the pain? Why the pain? What's the purpose of it? What do you like? We're all business people over here. There's a balance sheet. People do business with money, business with Torah, whatever the business is. What's the point? The point is that the more you're connected to the infinite, to the unlimited, the more you're connected to the finite. So we're being pulled over here like this, the two ears, like this, pulled together, pulled from both sides. Now, you need to also understand that as you are connected to this Gevul, to this infinite, okay? As you connected to this Bli Gevul, into the Gevul, as you connected to the unlimited, also in the limited, we're sitting here right now holding on to a table, yeah, with candles, and we're holding on. Where you need to go is you can't get. Where are you going, Yitzi? You just came in here. You can smoke here. They told me to show more love. Sorry. So you need to understand this as follows. The more squeezed you are, the point is, what's the point of the pain? The point is not the pain. The point is not your struggle. The point is for us to get to a place where you don't feel the struggle. Because we're a yesh ma'ayin. A yesh ma'ayin means something from nothing. Which means as follows. This thing is here. The T inside of it is as a result of this thing. This thing is a result of metal. Metal is a result of math, malchus. Everything makes sense. You're like, I'm sitting here, I'm talking, you're here because somebody put out a text, and everything has an ilva. There's a connection here. There's a matrix. Okay? But the way we found ourselves over here, where we come from originally, has no. If you start adding, you'll come to a place where like, what am I doing here? What's going on here? Makes no sense. What's the point? What's the purpose? What is all this? Yesh ma'ayin. Which means that this thing that is everything and anything just something like a bubble came out of nowhere. He is here, disconnected, then a bubble comes out mid-air. Something appears. It makes no sense. You trace it, scientists are like, they're figuring out billion light years away, 40 billion light years away. Because if you put in energy, light into numbers, it's going to be billions and billions of years away. But the Torah Hasidus tells us 6,000 years. That's it. We're not playing with anything else. 6,000 years, whatever that means. Okay? Yes, they have the Mayans say the world has been here for 25,000 years. But we understand something that it makes no sense. Which means that we can tap into a place in your life right now, in your struggle, that makes no sense. It doesn't have to make, how am I going to get out of this? I don't know. How am I going to figure out this problem? I don't know. It makes no sense, but you're going to get yourself out of it. And this is how I started the night. I saw it happen. I saw something that makes no sense, makes sense. Why? Because in the world of ilu va'alu, you need to do this in order to have this, healthy, this, that, and the other. Doctors are only 35% right. They say there's a 35% chance that you're going to be cured. 35% chance. But when the tzaddik gives you a bracha, it's 100%. The only struggle that you're still having is that you're still doubting. You're still struggling with the bracha. That's where the struggle is. Comes Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon pulled them all the way into Veld, which means that when they came to ask him for rain, and like, what's the kesher? It's nigla, we need tal, this, that, and the other. Says the Rebbe, it makes no sense. Because we are at a yesh ma'ayin, which means as follows. Let's go one more step with this. We did this before Pesach. We're standing you're sitting on your chair. The chair has 4 legs. The legs are sitting on the floor is sitting on the beams are sitting on the foundation. Foundation is sitting on the ground is sitting on more ground, layers and layers of ground until there's just a ball spinning mid-air. Tola eretz al b'leiman. Mid-air. It's spinning 330 something thousand miles per minute. Mizgav badeno, this thing, there's a thing that as energy comes in, there's 2 hands that's holding it. And it spins so fast because it needs to generate so much power to generate all of us. Everybody here is being generated by this power, by the superpower. This is how we show up over here. Really, I didn't just come from Crown Heights to Muncie. There was a nuclear reactor that kept generating me every step of the way until I'm over here. And every step that you took over here, you didn't just pick yourself up from point A and put yourself to point B. Every step of the way, you are creating an energy that needs an excellent. That's why if you keep doing this, you will burn calories and you need to eat more energy in order for you to sustain yourself. Or Yom Kippur, and certain times we tap into something that doesn't need food. It's higher than food. It's ruach. We get into a place, technically speaking, if 26 hours not eating, you shouldn't be able to walk. But we're still holding. And you can go on in days and days. Right? Moshe was in the mountain 40 days. He didn't eat. He tapped into a higher conscience. The Beli Gavul is triggered by the Gavul. The limited is triggered by the unlimited. It's holding space by the unlimited, which means that on top of your matter, my body, my physical, my bones, but there is a chiyas inside of me that's being generated by something that is ayin. That's something that's superpowered, supernatural. Which means that the gavul, my Beli Gavul, my limited, is only here because there's something else, something that's unlimited is holding me. And the more your squeeze is, the more you're boxed in, the more you're connected to something that is higher than the highest. And you can tap in and you can have how can you get out of it? The first step is to surrender to it, to accept it, to become present with yourself. Feeling your pain. Listen to this. Feeling your squeeze, feeling your pain. Breathe into it. What does that mean, breathe into it? I'm in pain, I was betrayed, I feel pain, I feel a lack of, I'm choked. What do you breathe into it? I breathe into what? And then what? Okay, let me tell you then what. Okay? As long as something is pushing me and I'm trying to push this way, I'm just choking myself more, I'm suffocating. But if I'm becoming fully present, what happens is that I recognize that there is a consciousness in Veld that is suffocating. There is a squeeze that exists in Welt. Once I recognize that there's a squeeze that exists in Welt and I don't fight against it, I'm going into another layer, a deeper layer, that exists something that is not a squeeze. Something that is not pushing. There is my nefesh, there is this. This is the squeeze. This is the squeeze right here. This is the glass. You can't get through it. This is the squeeze. And if I get stuck here, I can't get past it. But if I get very soft with this, I see the smoke coming out of it. There's something softer in it. There's a ketoides coming out of this. There's something ruach. There's a vape coming out of it. Your problems is not real. Your problem is only we are in a squeeze, okay? And this is the existence of this thing is a squeeze. The existence of the fire is that it burns. It's hot. But then there's another existence to it. There is more ruach. It's a light. How does this thing? There's something going on over here. There's an energy floating, and this thing, the energy that's floating is caught. It's riding on this wick, on this candle. Right? It makes no sense what's going on over here. This is physical, and this is something that's not physical. It's a ruach. It's a breath. It's air. And it keeps living. This thing is going to eat up. This thing can keep going. This is unlimited. As long as there's oxygen out there, this is going to keep burning. As long as you got to keep feeding it. We are the wick. We are the candle. The physical. That's your pain. The problem is that we are distracted because we keep being tapped in the head. You got to look forward for tomorrow. Yesterday and tomorrow, and I need new things, and I keep getting this. It keeps coming faster and faster. The faster the brain gets, the faster this gets. There's 5G. Now there's faster computers. Like how much faster? Anything faster is going to hit me in the head. But there's faster. 10, iPhone 11, 12. It doesn't stop. Don't be distracted. Like Bomer gets us into behind the gate. We are behind the gate. Reb Shimon is telling us to go inside. He's telling you he's telling you where it's at. It's in the softness, it's in the ruach, it's in the spirit. It's not on the physical. And as you drop in, you make yourself less detected by the radar. Less detected by the radar. The more silent you become. You know, the radar keeps turning. It picks up different sounds. And then there's high technology planes that the radar can't pick up. It's very silent. As you go on your journey, the more silent you become, the more you get triggered by what people say. The more you're like, I don't need to respond to this. The more you're sitting in a crowd and you're like, I have to make empty conversation and go into low consciousness, you're becoming detected. If you say something about somebody, you exposed yourself. And tomorrow you're gonna feel the pain. You're gonna have this anxiety because you were detected. The more silent you become, the more tolerant you can become with yourself, the more love you show for yourself and to your spouse, the more you go into the ruach, you go into the spirit. Because the gevul is connected to the bli gevul. The more squeeze you are, go to a deeper place and you're going to see a miracle happen. Because as you go into more silent, listen to this and I'm finishing. I'm letting you go after this. Listen to this. The more you go into silence, you're not giving Yenika to the Chetzonim, to the Klippa. These big Kabbalistic concepts, I'm telling you what it is, so we can all understand what it is. What does it mean Yenika? It's like a cotton candy. A thin stick, you put it around, sugar, it goes until it builds up. This is the stick. The more I go around and the more I put myself out there, I listen to stuff that I don't need to hear. I say things that I don't need to say. I do things that I don't need to do. I'm picking up the cotton candy. Now I'm this thick. And now somebody can say something from 20 miles away and I'm going to be affected by it. Something happens in Ukraine, I have fear and this, that. Oh, I'm all busy with it. I get caught up in the garbage. The more silent you become, it's like the return and the AC. You know when you put a piece of paper on the AC? the return of the AC and the paper sticks to it. Okay? And then when you turn off the AC, it falls down. When you go into silence, your problems automatically, it falls down. And it's not there anymore.
What is the silence?
The silence is that I'm aggravated that, oh, this guy said this, and this guy said that. Or I was supposed to speak up. My boss told me to do that, and I did it like a schwanz. I should have said something. My wife didn't do this, and I should have, and I'm pissed and I'm angry. Instead of me just saying something, what I want. You know, this means going into silence. Anything that is making noise. When I'm picking up garbage. When I'm like this and you call me, I'm like, laat me goed beschikken. We draaien met een kap, het is nog eenmaal. Ik kom aan een besmetters. En wat is het doen met een dadder? Laat me goed, ik wil me niegen. Ik wil aan een mikven. Er altijd wakker, maar ik ken de grootste rikken van doen. There is not to out. But I can't see it because I'm not me. I'm operating on another frequency. I'm operating on a very agitated frequency, which is klipper. Because Ayid was Sadas, our Mendrus is possessed, and anybody felt like Goy he doesn't get a noise. It's like, okay, the light is green, and okay, no, it takes an extra minute. Fine, I honked right away. I'm on it because I live in New York. What am I supposed to do? Enough 11 minutes out. Right? What? That's Kaufman, yeah. I mean, enough 11 minutes out. But going into silence is that when something that you don't like happens, you feel it. Letting it go. Letting it go. And the more silence you go into, you're tapping into the bli gevul in the gevul. You're tapping into the candle instead of the wick. The nachash, what's the nachash? It's the mirror. What did the nachash do? Chava was fully present in herself. Adam was fully present in himself. He had no judgments. He walked around naked. Didn't care what he looked like. He was fine. Like, he guess, he ain't gonna hide. Kim, there's the nachash and was der Spiegel. Was the Spiegel? Kijkt zich aan de spiegel en hij zet zich met hem om, maar hem gezoekt als is aan moeilijke hier. Staat zadig, staat er huilen hier en had hem getroffen. Right? He saw himself. Okay? And then what happened is that the mirror started claiming identity. De spiegel had gezoekt. Mensen kijkt zich in de spiegel en die kijkt zijn shows geht en dan stoot ze gaan fixen. Geisten die cleans hem spiegel. Well, the spiegel zoekt zich, I don't like the way I look. So they clean the spiegel off. Well, nothing is changing. And then you clean it again, and then you break it, and you get frustrated. Until you realize that it's not on the spiegels, it's right here, it's right here. So we're so stuck on the outside. That's why back in the day, when they did a Kazas Hadam, they were bloodletting because they were so present in the moment that anything out of their body was already Yoser Tachten. But now we're so, that we're processing the outside instead of being present on the inside. What does it look like? The advertisements. They're already advertising in Avi Altnets. The Sikkes. Where are you going to be for Sukkot? It's a crime. The elections, yeah? He just became president, he's running again. For 2 years in the Senate. It's like they can't start that clipper. Because they can't be present. They can't be present. Because if they stay present, they're out of business. Their ganze business is for me to worry about tomorrow. And while I worry about tomorrow, she's healthy, he's healthy, but now I have fear. The minute you have fear, you get caught up into the clipper. Now you gotta go on pills.
So the anxiety is the clipper.
The anxiety is the clipper. The anxiety is the illusion. How do they create anxiety? They overstress you, we overbuy, we overlive, we need too free, this, that, they need to keep up. And you have no choice, you have to. Yeah, this is it, this is part of it. They're on our backs. Yeah, that's the clipper. Kim Reb Shimon, he says, chill. Reb Shimon was on such a level, Man Pnei Yodam, the Reb Shimon. He was like, Nishka Spiegel, I'm fully present, he was able to say it. And he was so present, guess what? When only the Sfardim would have accepted Reb Shimon, then we say, fine. Okay, can ze verkaufen. Oh, Rabbi Agid, who was Davar. But even the Satmar believe in Reb Shimon. Viele Männer, that man, my other than Reb Shimon. Viele Satmer not accepted it. He was so present, it's like, you too, Kishin Tatas. Fine, so Wahhab's expression for those who don't know. You have to say if I bring So again, that's the goal. Is we're living in the fear, we're living in the tomorrow, we're living in constantly, but it's all happening right now. Now, getting to the point, finally, what are we talking about? So when Reb Shimon is going into the Adra Zittim, where before he passed away, he collected his Talmidim and there was again fire and it was a whole display over there. When Reb Shimon went into to that place, that is still happening right now. However, the way it plays out in time and space, that we are sitting in right now in Bomer Peh Gimmel 2023, and we're processing it like this. But Reb Shimon is still there. It's just that our consciousness couldn't process it in such real time that it took us, that's 2,000 years away in time, because we're in time and space. But really, in Malchus, we are 2,000 years away from it. 2,000 years? Yeah? In Malchus, we are 2,000. This is what Malchus is. In Malchus, we are 2,000. When you measure it in time and space, it's 2,000 years away. But really, it's like a slinky. It's really happening. It's still happening. Rav Shimon is talking right now. Now, how do we get to that place? It's a shine of Vettel, but how do we get to that place? So our ganze year we're in Gulas. We can't get to that place. We're really stretched in time because we live in an illusion for now. But like Bomer, this is it. This is the fire. That's why we make it's into the fire. That look is because fire is ruach and it takes you. Fire, it's ruach, spirit is there. It's nicht du, nicht dort. It is wie is. How did we end up over here? There was an intention. If you set your intention to be there, we will be there. We have to get that. I mean, listen. Everybody has had levels. I think most everybody took something that got you to a place of presence, that you're able to be present. If it was in a workshop or that workshop or this workshop, 96 or the other 49, whatever it was, that you were able to get that level of presence, that you are present. It's happening right now. You get to a place that because only the body dies, but the spirit lives on. The candle lives on. The energy lives on. It's just the thing that processes the energy, the screen that processes the energy is what dies. Because it can't hold that much light and it just dies. But the light keeps living on. We are the same. We've been here. We've been here forever. We never left. We're just meeting right now in these bodies that we're able to show up at the end of time. Malchus, because Malchus in time and space shows up. This is how we popped out right here, right now. But we've been here. Zman Abai, Zman Addition. It's all the same feather. Fine. Yeah, I go. Hi, Tata. Kloer? Aanrekenen, kloer? Zeg maar kloer? Go right here.
After what I want to share, I could have never explained this myself, but this is with Akdumah, everything is in Ayam and Tiash. There's Ayam and Tiash. So Zohar Kodashot, if Shema looked as Malchus, is Cheshbon. Malchus is math. This world, the physical world, is all math. It's all calculations. Jede Sache ist zusammengestellt von scientifically, this plus this, and anatomically, so alles is math. Alle Geschbeunis für Menschen, alles is math. But math encountered nicht, nimmt nicht heran, the ganze picture. Also man macht da 1 plus 1 equals 2. But it's nicht echt 2. It's a psi 2, it's a psi 1 plus 1. So beide. So du liegt Sach mehr, wenn ich mich zusammengelegt, die zwei sucht man nicht die ganze Story. Sie sucht man nur die Story von den physical blacks, also du liegt 2 blacks. Aber was ist geworden, wenn man legt zusammen 2, der sucht man nicht. Wo soll der Master gechange, der verzahlt das nicht. So Malchus is not the Cheshbon. Malchus is not the number, the math. So the Goyische Welt can try also figure, and the jede mien Welt also figure in der Welt, der bleibt stock in Cheshbon. Ich kann nicht accounten, es macht Sinn, von was geschieht, wenn man leicht zusammen der Geschbeunis. Mashen Ganaid, especially a Tzadik is Yesod, which is in Zayrat, and Zayeche from Malchus, it counted for beide. Can sein the math is not is the physical interstellar level, this is spielt Schos on a physical level, is math. But the iron, math is the yesh, and the iron is alle übrige. So, verstehen Sie, es ist auch so, also wenn du jeder Light flattert er vorauf, jeder Licht geht er vorauf, jeder Spirit geht er vorauf, alles was sich zurückconnecten, zurückwerden aus Yesh und werden mehr ein. Und das ist auch was in so, man hat Desire, was er legt, was legt von uns war, rauszugehen von der Math, rauszugehen von der Geschbeunis, und ranzugehen in ein. Ranzugehen in the nothingness. So for was is the shepherd is alles überall. Was halt die ganze Sache, was fliegt die ganze Sache zurück, die ganze Slinky, die ganze Welt, die ganze Brie, why is it, was wird es nicht zurück leid? So geht er auf, so fliegt er auf, was halt es? Was it halt, die ganze Brie, die der Shepherd beschaffen, was halt es? So the commander, als Yisroel, is Yesh, het reich alle Blamen, Yisroel is de einzigste Yesh van de Welt. The commander is ook de gift van de Yid, the physical body van de Yid, this pulpt de ganze Brie. Weil wir so noch gewähnt an der Schumme von Ayid, der Schumme von Ayid kann auch zurückgerufen, ja. Der Fakt ist, dass der Schumme von Ayid, was von dem wir Chef beschaffen der ganze Welt, wenn ihr begoit Yisroel, bereich ist, beschwil Yisroel schon nicht bereich ist, Vater Yid, so this is the end point, und wat in zurückgeworfen bis in Safara, bis in Cheshmaram, and this halt the ganze pole bis oven, halt the physical body from the Yid, halt the Schumme, the Giefen von Klal Yisroel, halt the ganze alle Oilem was alles bis darauf. And which makes us understand who we are and wieso das arbeit and how powerful we are. En jede Pizzi sagt, was mit tut, und auf der Welt, was versteht, jede Pizzi sagt, was er tut auf der Welt, macht er auch schon auf jener Welt. So it's because this halt the ganze Sache, this is the crust. And wie mehr insgesamt Zan and iron, which means zich nullifyen, zich kennen, zich allowen, sie nicht existen, also wie ins Maimerens existen, nicht existen as no the physical as the chesed. Sie gaat maar zo etwas hekken van de geschbeunis. Also wieso kann so machen sense, am morgen soll man Probleme weggehen? Because du etwas hekken von mir. Mathematically makes it sense, es weiß was das Leben ist in der Math. Math is not in the playing field, wie in Spielen. Aber man versteht klar, dass in seinem ein, ins Leben ist der Geschbeunis bounden nicht. Ich darf erinnern, arbeiten innes, so, wenn ich gehe an dort, spiele ich mit der Rules, und ich drehe und ich mache. Aber es ist nicht who I am, es ist nicht wie ich bin, es ist nicht wie ich bin anchored. Da muss lebig nicht in der Traf von meiner Geschbeunis.
Going into the essence of who you are, alles valt er weg. De yes valt er weg. Wow.
So we fragt why, verwusst darf man sagen, der Pain von Malchus, because ins Halt, man kann die ganze Welt auch keine Stein, müssen wir es du sagen, wenn es wird man dort, wird alles hinter ins weggeflogen. In Zemme, wird uns herangelegt, in der Baren von der Welt, wollen wir zusammen durch lebende Mexicans. Es wollen wir mal, das Schluss noch mal sitzen, als es so mit Friede gesagt, wenn Moshe Rabbeinu die rausgewagt steht, wenn der Chef hat ihm geriefen, jene machen das Schänder, der Chef gesagt, Moshe, ganz klar, das ist gehört, wie ein Stück, wie auch rief Moshe. Und dann gehen wir mit der Amme dabei, schon ein Begleit, für sein Gezelt, für sein Oil, bis der Mischken. Jeder sie kennt sein. So dort ist gewesen, als Gallus, als bei Zadig, bei Moshe Rabbeinu, ist gewesen, als Gallus, als jeder gekannt sein, the energy was wie kilo the iron. The iron is very dark.
The only way we're able to see this in Vulcanus, in fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best expression that we had for our brains, the way we're able to see
Mathematically.
Yes, mathematically. In Malchus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the Nuna Yama. There's the Sharabat and Levusin. Like we are in the Sharabat, and we want to get into the Levusin. This is on the Sidus Mashiach. The Sharabat and Levusin is the way you're getting out of your problems is by going into the Yam, going into the ocean, the Nuna Yama. Go into silence, and back again. I did it. I've done it. This is what the whole Akduma to the night was. That we're not
we're regular bainim. We're street fighters and mishluktach marastachirim, metavas, temptation, and everything. Go into the silence and you slip out. It's almost like you slip out from your own body. You can do two ways. You can push through and you fight, or you can just slip in. And your pain, your squeeze is to show you where you need to go. Go to a place where there is no pain. But what's going to be tomorrow? Listen, you tried everything. And at this point, you have to surrender. And this is Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon is Lakol. Reb Shimon Lakol. On every level.
זה ישר לשם יבוא יבוא
sounds like.
So